I wonder if you could talk for a couple minutes about how important it is to be successful in life to listen to what your heart tells you to follow.
Well, I think it's critical because I think you have to believe in what you're doing. You have to have a dream that's close to your heart that you believe in. I think you have to be, because I think that gives you that commitment, because life is not easy. The other thing that's been really important to me is what my parents said, which was, if you have a lot of blessings, then you need to give back, because you have a responsibility to pass them on. You know, young lawyers have to decide where they're going to give back, when they're going to give back. You have to look at, where is my career? Is this a time when I need to be billing tons of hours so that I can have a great reputation and I can get great work, and then think about how I'm going to contribute? Can I do some pro bono? Can I move the big firm to do pro bono? Should I? There are lots of judgments you make in the course of your career. The other thing that I started was the Just the Beginning Foundation in 1992. And that was a pipeline organization where we trained students from underrepresented groups and students of color who were interested in legal careers. Many kids didn't have parents who went to college, let alone college, even high school, to get some idea of what it was like to be a lawyer, what lawyers and judges do, and then the steps you actually need to take in order to get that opportunity. So that was very important to me.
Do you have in mind a specific accomplishment you would like to pursue or get under your belt going forward?
I, of course, want to see the Just the Beginning Foundation grow and expand. Right now, we're in 8 cities where we do programs for high school students. Summer legal camps that are Summer Legal Institute is what we call them. It's like a summer camp. It'll be either 5 days to 10 days. Students get to go to courtrooms, have one-on-one with judges. We have them observe trials. They get to do oral argument. They visit law firms, and it's a collaboration between law firms, judges, and law schools. And so I want to see that expand, because I'd like to see every student who really wants to pursue a career in law to be able to. And I do a lot of travel internationally. Not a lot, but about twice a year I've been doing training in Africa. And we have been training lawyers and judges focused on trial advocacy and issues of gender violence. Now we've trained our 3rd class of Kenyan lawyers to be trainers, and they train alongside of us. So I want to see that program where eventually Kenyans are doing 98% of the training, and those of us from the United States or the United Kingdom are doing 2% of the training. I do a lot of work with Lawyers Without Borders and with the State Department. And Lawyers Without Borders was started by a woman around 2000, Christina Storm, in Connecticut. And it's an umbrella organization that brings together law firms, judges, undergrads, law students, and we do trainings in various countries. So we focused on a rape this year of a child who was 16. We've had human trafficking files that we've done. Again, things that affect women and children.
Do you have any words of wisdom to lawyers who are coming up that we haven't already touched upon?
I guess I should talk about believing in yourself and believing that you can do. And to tell some of my personal story. My mother had a degree in home economics, and my father political science and psychology. And when they moved to Detroit, my mother wanted to teach, which her degree qualified her for, but blacks could not get full-time positions in the public schools. So she taught at a home for delinquent children and teenagers for 12 years. And then blacks could get contracts and work full-time, and that's what my mother did. My father, like many black men in the 40s who were educated, could not find a job, and so he started driving a bus for Detroit Streets and Railways. And he drove a bus for 20 years. When I think about what they did for me, and when I think about whatever challenges I had, first they said, believe in yourself. Second, they said, you can do anything you want. But when I face a challenge, I think about them. I'm like, well, I could have been driving a bus for 20 years. Or I could have been dealing with delinquent kids, you know. And then I know how blessed I am. And I think anything I have to do pales by comparison. And so my advice generally is everyone, every lawyer, someone sacrificed for you. So to me, my message is don't give up. Don't give up, that you can find a way.
Is there anything that I did not ask you that you would like to share about your career or the legal profession?
The only thing we haven't touched on is family life, and I get asked that a lot because, you know, when I went on the bench, my son was 2, a little over 2, and my daughter was about 1 year old. And sort of how do you balance it? Well, first you have to have a supportive, I think, spouse. You have to really decide where is it children and everything are going to figure in the career. And for me, I was in the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I had decided, we had been married a couple of years, that I was an active trial lawyer. I really didn't want to have kids, so I became a supervisor. So I set that as a goal, because then I knew I would have better hours. I think I think it's very hard to have 2 professionals who are working outside the home in very demanding jobs. You have to really give a lot of thought to how you're going to raise a family. And I think the other thing that's important that I would say is that you also don't have to lose your femininity when you're a professional. And so I think it's really important to maintain your identity and who you are. There's room in the law for personality, and assuming now you're excellent and you get your job done. Now that's always the first thing.